Is this your first SpaceUp, or were you?
This is my first SpaceUp, yeah.
What do you think about it?
Oh, I love it. I mean, at first I was a little skeptical of the format, how it would be organized, because it's not a set agenda. Everyone just shows up and writes down what they want. But as I'm quickly learning, it's a very organic way of being able to cluster into groups of people and talk about topics that everyone's excited about and passionate about. And it doesn't feel like a conference. We're just a bunch of people with enthusiasm for space having a conversation all day long. And it's been fantastic.
What are some of your highlights so far from the conference?
Well, I really liked the talk we had yesterday, Is NASA a Zombie? That was a very heated discussion among some of the people there. But it's a very meaningful discussion. You know, we need to talk very seriously about what the future of our space strategy is going to be as a nation, and that includes both government programs like NASA and the commercial sector. And we have to come to an understanding of how to work together so we can all move forward as quickly as possible. I think what he was meaning by that is a zombie is a body that's animated and continues to move even after the brain is dead. And I think NASA's in a very unfortunate position where they have the Constellation program, it's canceled, but by law they're required to continue spending money on it at least for the next month or two, and Congress is demanding that they make a new heavy lift vehicle. And even though NASA says they don't think that they can do it in the schedule or the budget, Congress is forcing them to do it anyways, and it's sort of a bad situation where all these engineers are working on these projects that are probably never going to fly. And I think that's pretty much the main point, and I wish there was an easy solution out of it for NASA.
Did you post any subjects?
Actually today, me and a couple other colleagues from X-Corps are going to be talking about our actual experience flying on rocket vehicles, because I've flown on X-Corps' X-Racer, which was a rocket plane basically, and not many people have had the experience of flying on a rocket-powered vehicle before, so we're going to be talking about our impressions and hopefully get people excited about maybe their own turn someday.
Would you like to share with our viewers what that experience is like?
Absolutely. It was probably the most fun 5 minutes of my life so far. Being on a rocket is very different feel from being in a fast car or being in a fast plane. You know, if I'm driving a really fast car and I gun it, it's fast, but then your acceleration drops off as you shift through the gears, and eventually it slows down. Well, with a rocket, it's exactly the opposite. You have constant thrust, which would normally mean constant acceleration, but as you're burning fuel, you get lighter and lighter and lighter. So it's just this constant force that just starts and never stops, just keeps pushing and pushing. And it's a surreal experience. I didn't have a lot of time to really enjoy the sights because I was flying as a flight test engineer. I was looking at all the engine instruments, making sure that things were running well. Thankfully, they were running perfectly smooth at that point, but it was over almost before I knew it happened. But I don't think I've ever smiled so wide in my life as when I touched down on that runway after that flight.
Now, that was for a vehicle that was originally intended to be used in the Rocket Racing League? Was that
That's correct. We were contracted to build that by the Rocket Racing League, and after that contract was finished, we moved on to other projects. The X-Racer is no longer flying. We've moved on to other things, but it was a great learning experience for X-Corps because a lot of the lessons that we learned through that program we're applying to Lynx, and it's saving us a lot of time and a lot of headaches on things we'd have to learn for ourselves otherwise.